Part 70. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 691. Say it. The people present were instantly shocked. Among them, the most nervous ones were Old Man Shilong and Li Kuangdao. They knew the methods of the Xianming sect members very well. If Old Man Xianming is really allowed to achieve the strength of the Dragon God realm, their two sects were having the most difficult time, and now that Kang Long had said such a thing, they were naturally the most concerned. However, what they didn't understand was, why would Kang Long take the initiative to reveal the existence of the Xianming dragon in Qinglian Valley at this time? After all, judging from Xueming's previous attitude, he didn't seem to know about it. In this case, why did Kang Long make such a choice? Isn't this equivalent to deliberately leaking information to Xianming sect? Could it be that Kang Long originally planned to tell the Xianming sect this news? So, does it mean that Qinghua Academy has moved closer to Xianming sect? Wanting to understand this, Old Man Shilong was the first to ask, Dean Kang Long, you actually took the initiative to speak out about such a mysterious thing. Are you afraid that the Xianming sect doesn't know about it? Yes, is it possible that Qinghua Academy, which has always been neutral, has a choice this time? Li Kuangdao also asked with a frown. Qinghua College is just a college. I have never participated in the battles in the Mingzhou territory. The only hope is that the Mingzhou territory can unite. Kang Long shook his head and said, everyone should know that this trial in the Qinglian Valley is the best opportunity for all the forces in our Mingzhou region. If we can give birth to a master of the Dragon God realm, we will. There is no need for Mingzhou territory to be looked down upon by others. After saying these words in one breath, Kang Long also looked around and looked at everyone. This time, his words seemed to have some effect. Whether it was Old Man Shilong and the others or Old Man Swimming, there was a bit of complexity in their eyes. They are all masters of the Golden God realm. Don't you know how important strength is in the Mingzhou territory and even on the eastern wilderness continent? They are only in the Golden God realm. You can already establish a sect within the Mingzhou territory. Although their sect may not be very famous, it can still be considered a powerful force. But if their strength reaches other domains in the eastern barren continent, then their strength will be a bit insufficient. This is also their Mingzhou territory. The reason why it has always been looked down upon by other regions. I wonder what some of you think of it. Kang Long saw that the others were not talking and continued to ask, do you also hope that you will be looked down upon by those outsiders? Of course not. These damn outsiders are nowhere to be seen when competing with other continents, but they can bully me on weekdays. Li Kuangdao was equally indignant. As for Leng Aolin, who was silent, although he didn't say too many words, his eyes still showed a bit of indifference. Obviously, he was also dissatisfied with those outsiders. Since everyone's opinions are like this. On the contrary, what do Xianming sect think? Is it possible that Old Man Xueming still wants to fight in the nest? Kang Long redirected the topic to the Old Man Xueming. Old Man Xueming was obviously a little hesitant about the attitude of these people. He could also see that if he did not adopt a suitable attitude this year, he was afraid that these righteous people would not allow him to enter the Qinglian Valley. GGG. You have misunderstood. Although I practice unpopular skills, I am also a pragmatic person. Old Man Xueming smiled and said, if you can help our sect master obtain the Dragon of Xianming, I believe that the sect master will not treat you badly in the future. What he said was quite straightforward. He actually planned to ask everyone to help their Xianming sect. Although it is said that Xianming sect is indeed number one in terms of single round strength in the Mingzhou domain, but with such an arrogant attitude and what they have done before, this sentence is obviously difficult to convince people. It's not just Kang Long and other powerful men in the Golden God realm. Even Xiao Xian himself looked a little solemn after hearing these words, and he couldn't believe the old man Xueming at all. Humph, these Xueming old men are a bit too arrogant. Do they really think that we have no other connections? That's right, you're obviously asking for help, but you still act like you're superior to others. Why is such a person so arrogant and domineering? In my opinion, we can unite and destroy this bullshit Xianming sect first. Then we will have more resources and fewer competitors in the Qinglian Valley. Xiao Xian heard. Many of the righteous disciples around him have already begun to discuss it. But he himself was a little curious. According to his previous understanding, Dean Kanglong is also a scheming person and cannot do anything that is not beneficial to him. Just like now. He deliberately told the story about the Xianming dragon. There is obviously another purpose, although for the time being, Xiao Xian doesn't know what this purpose is. But it is obvious that it should be related to Xianming sect. Brother system. Should we talk at this time? What the hell is this old man Kanglong doing? Xiao Xian communicates directly with the system. He believed that the omnipotent system should be able to give him a satisfactory answer. Ahem, host, do you really think the system is omnipotent? There was a hint of resentment in the system's voice. Of course. Otherwise, what else would you call a system? Xiao Xian was not polite at all. Besides, if you can become the host of the system, you must be a little bit more than the system. If you don't have this problem, what use do I need from you? System. The system stopped talking. Xiao Suanke nodded with satisfaction. In that case, tell me, has old man Kanglong really taken refuge in the Xianming sect? Why do I think the Xianming sect is so ghostly and unreliable? The host is right. The skills practiced by Xianming sect are indeed not good, but, this is not their nature, but due to their position. The system explained, after all, they can only practice in Xianming land, a place like that. Who asked them to go? Why don't they do something serious? Isn't it better to just stay in the Central Plains? Xiao Xian was a little confused. However, in response to his question, the system responded directly, some things were forced to do so. For example, at that time, these people from the Xianming sect were all sinners in the Central Plains, being expelled to the land of Xianming. Therefore, they originally had a grudge against the Central Plains. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 692. Sinner. What crime did they commit? Xiao Xian felt something familiar. After all, when he ran away from the Kanglong Empire, wasn't he also a sinner? The winner is the king or the loser. Sometimes, the identity of the sinner is not just that simple. If the other party wants you to be guilty, then you are guilty. Hasn't the host understood this? Ahem, brother system, can you not be so straightforward? Xiao Xian was a little embarrassed. At that time, when he was on the Tianqian continent, he had done many similar things. This was how effective power was. Want to deal with someone? Sometimes, it's very simple. So, according to you, brother system, everyone in Xianming sect has been wronged, Xiao Xian asked. Mostly. These poor people are struggling to survive in a place like the land of Xianming. In order to survive, they can only practice with the energy of Xianming, so they become like this. But, I heard from Long Ruoxiu that this old man Xueming used the blood of other practitioners in order to practice his own skills. Isn't this a bit cruel? Xiao Xian hesitated. Cruel. As a practitioner, you step on the corpses of others. Isn't that what the host does? That's true. Xiao Xian was stunned. He really didn't expect that the system would say this. As far as the actual situation is concerned, his cultivation process along the way is really not that simple. From a certain perspective, His cultivation process was also dangerous and cruel at every step. But, so what? In this case, is it possible that I still want to help the people in Xianming land? Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask. Could it be that you don't want to become stronger? Originally, Xiao Xian was planning to give up. However, after hearing the system's last words, he couldn't help but feel a little more excited on his face. Become stronger? Don't talk about him. Even in the entire cultivation world, are there still people who don't want to become stronger? Could it be that there are benefits to hanging out with the Xianming sect? Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask. In that case, I'm really a little curious. Certainly. The purpose of this system is to make the host become stronger quickly. The system responded quickly, and it is to become stronger by any means necessary. Of course, the prerequisite for this is that the host must have strong enough faith and determination. Hearing this, Xiao Xian's face became more solemn. He knew that since he got the system, he had indeed received a lot of benefits from the system, and he could really feel that the system really wanted to make him stronger quickly. On these things, he seems to really want to trust the system. It's very simple. After entering the Qinglian Valley, help the Xianming sect find the Xianming dragon and devour it. The system gave a suggestion. This system can confirm that the Xianming dragon may be formed by fusing the broken bones of the heavenly dragon. After hearing this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but take a breath of air. He understood. What does the system mean by these words? Not only does it risk offending the righteous way, but it also wants to backstab a group of Xianming sect in the end. This is indeed a bit risky. With his current strength and that of Long Ruoxiu, even with Wang Tai and Meng Zili, they are not that strong in the Qinglian Valley. Why can this be done? However, Xiao Xian, who has always been very courageous, does not care about these things. What he is more concerned about is what kind of benefits he can get if this thing is done. Brother system. Xiao Xian asks seriously, the last question, if you really get the dragon of Xianming, what are the benefits and results? Improve your strength directly to the peak of the spiritual god realm, even, infinitely close to the blue god realm. The system's voice is firm. Hear this. Xiao Xian became excited instantly, with excitement in his eyes. Blue god realm. Although the system only said it was infinitely close. But for Xiao Xian, this result is already very satisfying to him. If this can really be achieved, then at least he will be considered a figure of some status in Qinghua College. For this purpose, what do these righteous ways and Xianming sect mean? As long as he wanted to, couldn't he backstab him casually? That's interesting. Thank you, brother system, Xiao Xian replied seriously. You're welcome, the system responded. Oh. Xiao Xian was stunned. Then he smiled awkwardly. This was the first time in such a long time that he heard such a humane answer from the system. Hello? What were you laughing at just now? At this moment, Long Ruoxiu next to him asked. Nothing. I just thought that we are about to enter the Qinglian Valley. Xiao Xian found a reason at random. By the way, how was the discussion just now? Did Dean Kanglong agree to them? Accepted. Long Ruoxiu said, now the right way and the Xianming sect have cooperated to search for the Xianming dragon. After they are found, the Xianming dragon will be divided equally. To this result, Xiao Xian was not surprised. He could see that although there was a fierce quarrel between the right way and the Xianming sect, they were both sects in the same region after all. Maybe they are life and death enemies on the surface. But under the common interests of Mingzhou territory, they can still give up some disputes. Of course, this is not the most important reason. The most important reason is that both the righteous path and the Xianming sect want to get the Xianming dragon. After all, old man Xianming can enter the realm of dragon god with this thing. Can't other sects? That's really the case. It seems that we will also be cooperating with people from the Xianming sect next. Are you ready? Looking at Long Ruoxiu's worried look, Xiao Xian also knew that there was probably no good answer to this question. But what he didn't expect was, before Long Ruoxiu was ready to answer, a person rushed over from the side and said rudely, "Xiao Xian, I think you should shut up. In this cooperation, you'd better not be too pushy, otherwise, no one will know if you lose your life." Who? Xiao Xian frowned. I, Mu Xiaolong. The person who came was none other than Mu Xiaolong. When he saw Long Ruoxiu and Xiao Xian together, he felt annoyed in his heart, so he naturally came over unceremoniously. "It turns out that you are the one who failed. I didn't expect that after the freshman battle, you didn't just hide yourself. Why are you still bragging here?" Xiao Xian couldn't help but shook his head. "I really don't know why you are so thick-skinned. Could it be that you came here to provoke me just to be jealous? Say it." A group of disciples from Qinghua Academy also paid attention. They all cast strange glances at Mu Xiaolong. Mu Xiaolong has a secret crush on Long Ruoxiu. This is something that many Qinghua Academy disciples know, and even some elders have heard about it. But now, Mu Xiaolong still focused on this, somewhat ignoring the overall situation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 693. You, Xiao Xian, don't think that just because you are famous in the Battle of Freshmen, you can do whatever you want again. Anything can happen in Qinglian Valley. Under the disgusted eyes of everyone, Mu Xiaolong was also a little embarrassed, but in the end he gritted his teeth and said, "There are some things I want to tell you in case you." "What if? Do you, Mu Xiaolong, still want to attack your own people?" Before Mu Xiaolong could finish his words, Long Ruoxiu, who was standing next to him, said with a disdainful expression, "Does this go against Dean Kanglong's wishes?" Why are you speaking for this kid?" Mu Xiaolong was stunned and couldn't help but widen his eyes. "So what?" Long Ruoxiu looked at Mu Xiaolong with disgust in her eyes. You. Mu Xiaolong never dreamed that the girl he liked, Long Ruoxiu, would have such a good relationship with Xiao Xian. "Mu Xiaolong, I think it's better for you to stop being wishful thinking. Long Ruoxiu is the woman you will never get in your life." Xiao Xian sneered. After hearing this, Mu Xiaolong looked at Long Ruoxiu next to him and found that the latter's face was slightly red, but his eyes were extremely firm, and he understood what Long Ruoxiu meant. Instantly, he felt the discomfort of five thunders in his mind. "It's like something I've cherished for a long time. It was like being snatched away by someone else in an instant. Do you understand? Then get out of here." Xiao Xian still looked at Mu Xiaolong with calm eyes, not taking this guy to heart at all. Joke. He traveled across the continent for so many years. No matter how much he has seen in the world, he is not scared by the little Mu Xiaolong. At this moment, Long Ruoxiu dared to confront him. "Mu Xiaolong. Is it possible that Xiao Xian still doesn't dare?" "Xiao Xian, okay, great. I, Mu Xiaolong, will bear in mind today's shame. Sooner or later, I will use facts to prove that you will definitely regret it." Mu Xiaolong looked at Xiao Xian with gloomy eyes. "You guys remember this?" After saying that, he turned around and left. See this scene. The Qinghua Academy disciples besides Xiao Xian were somewhat worried and glanced at Xiao Xian and Long Ruoxiu sympathetically. They are all old students of Qinghua College. Speaking of which, most of the strength is at the high level of the spiritual god realm, so naturally he is not afraid of the little freshman Mu Xiaolong. However, although Mu Xiaolong was nothing to be afraid of, the person standing behind him was the General Mujia of the Qinghua Empire. Offending such a great general. I'm afraid that both Xiaoxian and Long Ruoxiu will have a hard time. It seems, this Mu Xiaolong is serious. If his father Mu Feng finds out, this matter may not be that simple, right? I've long heard that Mu Feng is famous for protecting his shortcomings. I'm afraid he won't get around Xiaoxian easily. Also, I heard that Xiaoxian has a good relationship with King Qin's daughter Qing Li. I'm afraid Mu Feng will also hear some news. It seems that Xiaoxian is really looking for death, and you all dare to provoke him. A group of old students from Qinghua College started talking. Without exception, everyone basically thought that Xiaoxian was going to be unlucky. Among the disciples on the other side of Qinghua Academy, the way Mu Xiaolong came back angrily could not be concealed from Wang Ralong, but the latter only took one look and understood what was going on with him. Interesting. It looks like you were rejected by your little girlfriend again. Ever since being slapped in the face by Xiaoxian, the relationship between Wang Ralong and Mu Xiaolong has become much closer, and they have a feeling of sympathy for each other. Humph, this bitch is ungrateful, so don't blame me for being rude. Mu Xiaolong's face was gloomy. I don't know what's wrong? Then what are you going to do? Wang Ralong's mouth was filled with contempt, obviously he had expected this incident. Revenge. I want revenge. I want this bitch to surrender to my crotch forever. Mu Xiaolong's eyes were bloodshot. Seeing him like this, Wang Ralong had a slight smile on his face and continued, it's a good thing that you have this determination, but, I'm a little curious, do you only have determination? Don't you have any plans of your own? What can you do if you just rely on your passion? Then, senior brother Wang, brother Ralong, what should I do? A trace of confusion flashed in Mu Xiaolong's eyes. It's very simple. Whether it's Xiaoxian or Long Ruoxiu, as long as you have enough strength, wouldn't it be easy to solve these things? Wang Ralong followed the temptation, but then sighed, unfortunately, now we have finally become a tiger, and Xiaoxian's strength is not something you and I can deal with. When I just said this, Mu Xiaolong was still very excited, but when he heard the last sentence, he felt lost again. Then what should I do? Am I just going to be bullied by this pair of bitches? Senior brother Wang, what do you think I should do? As long as you say it, I will definitely do it. Mu Xiaolong guy face pleading. Have you forgotten the leader of our Qinghua Academy this time? Senior brother Bai Feng is an inner disciple. If he is willing to help you, wouldn't it be too simple? Wang Ralong said with a smile, according to what I know, senior brother Bai Feng, as a disciple of Bai Sheng's lineage, should not have a good impression of Xiaoxian and Long Ruoxiu. As long as you can persuade him to help you, won't everything fall into place? Having said that, Mu Xiaolong naturally understood what the former meant. But the next second, he felt a little embarrassed again, and could only say, but really speaking, senior brother Bai Feng is an inner disciple, why would he help us? Seeing Mu Xiaolong's heart fluttering, Wang Ralong also nodded with satisfaction. To be honest, I have learned about senior brother Bai Feng's current situation before. He doesn't have much demand for martial arts, but, your snow dragon spear technique is quite interesting. After hearing this, Mu Xiaolong couldn't help but be stunned. His snow dragon spear technique is a combat skill in the military, and it is considered a rare thing in the Mu family. Even among the Mu family, only the legitimate son is qualified to learn it. His father Mu Feng even strictly ordered that this thing should not be leaked. Now, according to Wang Ralong's intention, he was actually asked to give this thing to Bai Feng. Doesn't this make him go against the family decision? If his father Mu Feng found out, he would probably be furious and might even kill him directly. Think of this. Mu Xiaolong couldn't help but shudder. Senior brother Wang, is there any other way? This snow dragon spear technique is a military combat skill passed down from my family. If it is passed down, I am afraid my father will not let him go mine. I see, then there is no other way. Wang Ralong sighed deliberately. You should know that although senior brother Bai Feng and I have a good relationship, we are not at the point where we can command him at will. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 694. After hearing the rejection in Wang Ralong's words, Mu Xiaolong suddenly became anxious and quickly explained, Senior brother Ralong, actually, it's not that I don't want senior brother Bai Feng to learn, it's just that my father. It's simple. Your father doesn't know senior brother Bai Feng either. When the time comes, just don't let senior brother Bai Feng use it in front of your father. Wang Ralong interrupted, besides, your father has nothing to do, so how could he pay attention to an inner disciple of King Hua Academy? I don't know if Wang Ralong's persuasion worked. Mu Xiaolong still hated Xiao Xian too much in his heart, so in the end, Mu Xiaolong nodded in agreement. Among the disciples of King Hua Academy, after Xiao Xian drove Mu Xiaolong away, he didn't take this matter to heart. For him, Mu Xiaolong was just a sideshow. His more important goal is the dragon of Xianming. However, he also understands that as it stands now, he doesn't know much about the so-called dragon of the mysterious darkness, and if he goes out to work alone, he is courting death. It would be better to follow the old students of King Hua Academy first. After you find a suitable opportunity, you can go out and work alone, which will make you more confident. It's about to start. Do you have any plans? Looking at the Qinglian Valley that was about to open, Long Ruoxia couldn't help but ask Xiao Xian behind him, do you think our King Hua Academy can find the dragon of Xianming? I don't know, Xiao Xian said truthfully, I don't even know what this Xianming dragon is. It is said that, it is a very remarkable thing. Long Ruoxia shook his head, it is not something that ordinary people can find. Then it depends on luck, Xiao Xian also frowned. But if our King Hua College can really get this thing, it will be a great opportunity. Long Ruoxiu suddenly glanced at Xiao Xian, you are not interested in this thing, are you? Something that can enhance your strength. Aren't you interested? Xiao Xian did not answer Long Ruoxiu's question, but asked instead, maybe, relying on things, you and I can become masters of the Kang God realm. Blue God realm. This realm is a height that ordinary cultivators cannot reach in their lifetime. I don't know how many cultivators have been unable to reach this realm in their entire lives, and I don't know how many cultivators have been stuck on the threshold of the Blue God realm their entire lives, unable to advance even an inch. After hearing Xiao Xian's words, Long Ruoxia couldn't help but feel a little more excited on her face. But then, she shook her head, can we have such good luck? Moreover, if you want to get the dragon of Xianming, you must not only have good luck, but more importantly, you must have strength. At least, we must be better than is Bai Feng strong. For the last sentence, Long Ruoxiu also lowered her voice. You are right, Xiao Xian nodded and added, however, I am confident that I can get this thing. This is not just about confidence. You should have other trump cards. Long Ruoxia shook his head. I can't hide anything from you, he Xiao Xian said with a smile. Cannot believe it. When I first met you, you were still at the beginning of the spiritual god realm. In less than half a month, you have become so strong. Long Ruoxia couldn't help but shake her head and said with a wry smile, such a cultivation speed can only be described with two words, terrifying. As she said this, she thought the same thing in her heart. For so long, she also watched Xiao Xian practice step by step. No matter what kind of opponent he was, the latter seemed to be able to easily defeat him. If it were only once or twice, she might still suspect it was luck. But such things happened one after another, and even she had to admit that Xiao Xian was indeed a capable person. Are you willing to cooperate with me? We are also going to rob the Xianming dragon, Are you willing? Xiao Xian turned around and said to Long Ruoxiu with a smile, with the help of this thing, it is not impossible for us to reach the threshold of the Blue God realm. But he said it. But Long Ruoxiu was shocked and looked at Xiao Xian with surprise in her eyes, as if she was looking at a monster. After all, such a thing is indeed a bit unbelievable. Not to mention them, not even Bai Ao, an inner disciple of King Hua Academy, dared to say that he could find the Xianming dragon. Now, Xiao Xian is so confident. Xiao Xian, don't be too confident. This kind of Xianming dragon is a treasure that even old man swimming and old man Chalon covet. Why can you get it? Long Ruoxiu thought for a moment, then shook his head. Besides, something like this is of great importance. Even if you get it, other big guys won't stand by and watch. You have a point. After hearing these words, Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. He understood that Long Ruoxiu was not just talking randomly, but was also telling the truth. To be honest, with his current strength, it should be no problem to take care of Wang Ralong and Mu Xiaolong. But if he confronts Bai Feng head-on, he probably has no chance of winning. What are you going to do? Looking at what you mean, do you have other plans? Long Ruoxiu knew what kind of person Xiao Xian was. As long as he said something, he would probably find a way to do it, so after looking at the latter, he asked, do you really want to get this Xianming dragon? Why not? Xiao Xian shook his head. Then you need to plan carefully. Do you know what the black dragon looks like? Where does this thing like to be? What is its personality and preferences? How can you find it? After you find it, how should you recover it? You want these things, consider it, Long Ruoxiu said seriously. Before, I found some records about this thing in the secret collection at my home. What record? I heard that this thing is the creator of the Xianming land. One dragon transforms all things. Whether it is the Xianming Qi or the various Taoist techniques in the Xianming land, they all originate from the Xianming dragon. Long Ruoxiu looked at Xiao Xian seriously. It can be said that the dragon of Xianming is also a great avenue. Hear this. Xiao Xian had a feeling of half-understanding. After such a long time, he can roughly understand that this Xianming dragon seems to be a very important treasure. But why it is important, he really can't say 1, 2, 3. At most, I just think that this is something similar to a spiritual treasure or a monster beast. But now that Long Ruoxiu had explained it, he understood a little more. If we say that the dragon of Xianming is a kind of avenue, doesn't that mean it can be understood? So, if he understands this thing, can he become a master of the Blue God realm? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 695. But I just had this idea. Xiao Xian shook his head. He had to eat his food one bite at a time. He was now at the middle level of the spiritual god realm. He was not only 180,000 miles away from the blue god realm, but it was still a long way away. He also understands the principle that haste makes waste. So to say, the way of Xianming, this avenue sounds quite powerful. It should be about the same power as other avenues, right? Xiao Xian asked, if you can comprehend this avenue, the practitioner's strength should be able to reach a higher level, right? Among the great avenues, according to the truth, the more you comprehend, the stronger your strength will be. Long Ruoxiu nodded, but unless you are the kind of amazing genius, the average practitioner can comprehend a great avenue, just one is already amazing. It's natural. You can't bite off more than you can chew. Xiao Xian also nodded. But there is no doubt that the biggest role of the Xianming dragon is to help understand the Dao. Long Ruoxiu said the key point. So, does it mean that as long as you get the dragon of the mysterious Ming, you can help others gain enlightenment unlimited times? Xiao Xian was stunned. Of course not. Things like the Xianming dragon are derived from the way of Xianming. The place and time of its existence are limited. Even if you get it, you can only use it once at most. Long Ruoxiu rolled her eyes at Xiaoxian. According to what you said, the dragon of Xianming can comprehend infinitely. Wouldn't it be able to create powerful men in the Kang God realm without limit? Hearing this, Xiaoxian also laughed dryly. I did find that his idea was a bit too much. Let's take a step and see. But I have another idea. I feel that Dean Kanglong deliberately leaked the traces of the Xianming dragon, and he seems to have another purpose. Xiaoxian's words were not loud, and only he and Long Ruoxiu could hear them. But when she heard this, Long Ruoxiu was really surprised and couldn't help but change her face. Do you doubt Dean Kanglong? I feel that Dean Kanglong seems to know more things, and, do you think he might not be interested in things like the Xianming dragon? Xiaoxian analyzed, no matter who gets this thing, they will have the opportunity to further their cultivation. Dean Kanglong has no reason not to be interested. The reason is simple. Everyone wants to advance their cultivation further. Long Ruoxiu also knew such a simple thing. Never mind. Dean Kanglong's level is not something we can understand. Let's just focus on ourselves for the time being. Long Ruoxiu shook her head. However, if you can really find the dragon of the mystical Ming, it would be best if you could do so within the Qinglian Valley, and use this opportunity to comprehend the way of the mysterious Ming. If you bring it out, I'm afraid it will be a disaster. It's really a bit dangerous. Of course I know this. I just said this just to remind you. Don't be too surprised when the time comes. Of course, you brought me too many surprises. Long Ruoxiu said, giving Xiaoxian a powerful roll of the eyes. Accident. Too much. Xiaoxian was stunned. Suddenly I felt a little embarrassed about this ambiguous word. When did he bring so many surprises to Long Ruoxiu? Hey, it's normal. Xiaoxian could only say with a smile. Xiaoxian and Long Ruoxiu were muttering, and some incredible changes had also taken place in Qinglian Valley. With a sudden loud noise, the originally quiet valley suddenly began to shake violently, rocks rolled down and trees swayed. Countless beasts and monsters screamed in terror. There is a slight gap in the defensive formation above Qinglian Valley. Instead, Xiaoxian sneered inwardly. Dean Kanglong was indeed an old fox. Even if he really found it, Kanglong planned to use a small Kanglong elixir to make his disciple hand over the Xianming dragon? Is it possible that Dean Kanglong would use this kind of thing in exchange for the Xianming dragon? This is a bit stingy. A group of disciples also nodded silently and stopped talking. An extremely rich aura of the Great Avenue emanated from the valley. Xiaoxian couldn't help but sigh. At the same time, all the forces in the Mingzhou territory also became excited, and each of them looked into the valley with burning eyes. Every time Qinglian Valley was opened before. I have long heard that Dean Kanglong is actually a third-grade alchemist. The pills he refines are extremely precious. Kanglong pills can allow practitioners of the spiritual god realm to advance to the Kangshen realm. Is this special Miao trying to trick children? Just a burst of Tao Qi can have such great benefits. If you practice in it for a period of time, your strength will be greatly improved. Qinglian Valley is open. The old man Xueming stood up and smiled sarcastically. Today, if anyone knows the location of the Xianming dragon, just tell us from the Xianming sect, and I, the Xianming sect, will give him 2 Kanglong pills. I heard people around me talking about it. Old man Shilong, old man Xueming, Li Kuangdao, and Leng Aolan also nodded slightly, obviously agreeing with Kanglong's statement. Not to mention how dangerous the Xianming dragon is. Using a small Kanglong elixir, you want to trick so many disciples into searching for the Xianming dragon? For this, if I can also get this elixir, then it will be a great thing. Let's search for the dragon of the mysterious Ming together. Countless cultivators, after feeling this great energy, suddenly feel relaxed and happy, as if they have been baptized by a spiritual energy, feeling comfortable from the inside out. This is really interesting. However, Xiaoxian may not be able to understand this. To be honest, the relationship between the various forces in the Mingzhao domain is not good to begin with. Could it be the Kanglong elixir? Amazing. Hatred accumulated over the years. Almost at the same time. It definitely cannot be resolved by working together, so Xiaoxian also knows that these disciples may not take it to heart. The disciples who entered it had to go through a brutal fight before they could finally come out safely. After Kanglong finished speaking, he also looked at the other people behind him. If we can find the Xianming dragon, as long as we can bring the things out, our elders will be generously rewarded and given a chance to be fully promoted to the Kang God realm, Kanglong said with a smile. Moreover, he will be promoted successfully. However, Dean Kanglong then walked to the front of Qinglian Valley and said, "Disciples, Qinglian Valley is a rare trial opportunity, but according to some of our speculations, Qinglian Valley can be opened for up to 10 days, and all disciples can only after 10 days, you will have to test yourself as to what opportunities you find there. In addition, this time no matter which force is involved, I hope they can live in peace in the valley." How do I say this? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 696. It was Kanglong who helped Xianming Sek speak before. But now, after hearing what the old man Xueming said, Kanglong still looked a little ugly. He just said that he would exchange a Kanglong elixir for the Xianming dragon. Now, old man Xueming has offered a higher price? Isn't this just trying to undermine things? Embarrass him? Our Shillong sect is not short of this Kanglong elixir. Whoever can find the Xianming dragon can also tell us about the Stone Dragon sect. The conditions will not be lower than theirs. The Golden Sword sect is not talented, but it also needs the dragon of Xianming. If Snow Wolf Valley can get the dragon of Xianming, the conditions are up to you. Before Qinglian Valley. In addition to several large sects, there are also some casual cultivators from the Mingzhao region. Although these casual cultivators come from some small sects, their strength cannot be underestimated. At this time, they naturally became the targets of various major sects. It's interesting. It seems like this thing is really in demand. Several sects have come up with conditions. It seems that getting this thing is also an opportunity for me to make a comeback. Could it be that you think this thing is easy to find? Don't lose your life if you don't find it by then. The casual cultivators are ready to make a move. Obviously many people are interested and want to get the Kanglong pill. But there are also some who are sober and know that the Xianming dragon is not that easy to obtain, so they choose not to accept the mission. However, these are only the casual cultivators who have the opportunity to choose. People like Xiaoxian and Long Ruoxiu, as disciples of Qinghua Academy, were able to enter the Qinglian Valley because of the reputation of Qinghua Academy. So if you can find the Xianming dragon, there is no doubt that it will naturally be handed over to Dean Kanglong. Everyone, we are about to enter the Qinglian Valley later. I think everyone should have heard what Dean Kanglong meant, right? Baifeng stood up at this time and said to the disciples of Qinghua Academy, the purpose of Qinglian Valley this time is to find the dragon of Xianming. Please keep it in mind. He is the only inner disciple of Qinghua Academy at the moment. At this moment, he naturally shoulders the responsibility and hope of leading Qinghua Academy and revitalizing the sect's reputation in Qinglian Valley. Senior brother Baifeng is right. As disciples of Qinghua Academy, after entering the Qinglian Valley, we will naturally listen to senior brother Bai's words and search for the Xianming dragon seriously. Wang Ralong looked complimentary. When the time comes, senior brother Bai just needs to tell us what to do, and we should obey. If someone doesn't listen, then isn't that going to cause trouble with the entire Qinghua Academy? As he said that, he also looked at the four people from Wu Meng's lineage. Regarding this, Wang Tai and Meng Xiaoli also frowned slightly. They could also see that Wang Ralong was deliberately provoking and causing trouble for them. Good. I have long heard that many talents have appeared in our Qinghua Academy recently. Bai Feng's eyes narrowed, but I hope these talents don't do anything in Qinglian Valley, otherwise, the final result won't be good. Say it. Many people in Qinghua College have set their sights on Xiaoxian. After all, in the freshman competition that just ended, it was Xiaoxian who won the championship and gained the qualification for freshmen to enter the Qinglian Valley. From this perspective, Wang Ralong, Chen Meng, Mu Xiaolong, and others will naturally be overwhelmed by Xiaoxian. Do you know this Bai Feng? What Bai Feng said next was just high-sounding and inspiring words. Long Ruoxiu didn't want to listen, but asked Xiaoxian. I don't even recognize him. Xiaoxian shook his head helplessly. Then why is he targeting you? Is it Wang Ralong again? Long Ruoxiu couldn't help but ask. Other than that, there seems to be no other reason. Xiaoxian shook his head. Let's take it one step at a time. I hope he won't take it too far. I feel like he will. After Long Ruoxiu finished speaking, she stopped talking. Well. However, Xiaoxian shook his head, with a hint of helplessness on his face. He can somewhat understand a guy like Bai Feng. After all, he is from Bai Sheng's lineage. It is normal for them to want to target him. However, when I saw that Wang Ralong was also involved, he felt something was wrong. After all, in Qinghua Academy, Wang Ralong dared to say that he was the second person who hated Xiaoxian, but no one dared to say that he was the first. Xiaoxian even wondered whether Wang Ralong would scold him 100 times before going to bed every night. After Bai Feng made a long phone call. People at Qinghua College may not really be able to listen. But when it comes down to it, Xiaoxian heard something. Bai Feng seemed to express an attitude both inside and outside his words. This time, there is a trial within Qinghua Academy. Let Bai Sheng's lineage be the main one, Wang Ao's lineage be the auxiliary, and the disciples from other lines can only serve as foils. As for the final result, naturally, Bai Sheng and Wang Ao received the most. This, while understandable, is not acceptable. After all, Xiaoxian himself did not come to study with the prince. He came to Qinglian Valley to find an opportunity for himself. In the end, if you become a so-called foil, wouldn't it be a waste of a precious trial opportunity? Everyone, what do you think of my arrangement? After Bai Feng finished speaking, he looked at the old students with confidence, with undisguised pride on his face. If any of you are not convinced, say it now. For a moment, the old students present were a little silent. Although anyone with a discerning eye can see that Bai Feng is bullying others, he seems to have no choice but to endure it without the strength. I saw no one spoke. Bai Feng was also very satisfied and continued, in this case, I will start to assign tasks. The disciples of Bai Sheng's lineage, Wang Ao's lineage and Li Halong's lineage will be the main combat force and do not need to be dispatched. Lu Lianyi's lineage and 2 disciples are responsible for contacting and exploring information. Wu Meng's lineage is responsible for forward reconnaissance. Everyone, if you understand, take action now. Bai Feng waved his hand and led the disciples of Qinghua Academy towards Qinglian Valley. This arrangement can be heard. Among the disciples of Qinghua Academy, the ones with the ugliest faces are none other than Xiaoxian and other people from the Wu and Meng lineage. There are dangers everywhere in Qinglian Valley. Generally speaking, each force will send its most powerful people to do reconnaissance missions. But now, Everyone in Qinghua Academy can see that Wu Meng's lineage is the weakest. But Bai Feng still sent them to conduct reconnaissance. Wasn't this specifically targeting them? Even knocking them out early? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 697. Bai Feng. Are you going a little too far? There are only 4 of us from Wu Meng's lineage participating in the trial. The Qinglian Valley is full of dangers. If you ask the 4 of us to conduct reconnaissance, aren't we going to die? As the eldest brother of Wu Meng's lineage, Wang Tai naturally stood up. How many of you from Wu Meng's lineage participate in the trial is your own responsibility. As for what you said, you don't plan to obey my command. Bai Feng frowned slightly. Does that mean you can't get along with me, Bai Feng? I think senior brother Bai has misunderstood. The trial in the Qinglian Valley is extremely important, and the reconnaissance mission is the top priority. For such a mission, elite soldiers and strong generals should be excluded. Meng Xiaoli's face didn't look good either, but she still pulled the throne, stood up, and explained to Bai Feng. See Meng Xiaoli stand up. Bai Feng also had a sarcastic smile on his face. So, you Wu Meng people admitted that you are no longer elite soldiers. But, how did I hear that you have been very popular recently? I think it's because senior brother Bai Feng heard it wrong, right? Meng Xiaoli gritted her teeth. No no no. Don't you have a competition for first place among the freshmen? What's your name, Xiaoxian? Let's do this. When the time comes, just let the Xiaoxian be the forward scout, and the rest of you can hide behind. After Bai Feng finished speaking, without waiting for Meng Xiaoli to agree, this is my biggest concession. If it doesn't work, the 4 of you will go together. Say it. Wang Tai and Meng Xiaoli were immediately filled with anger. How could they not understand that Bai Feng's purpose in saying this was only to mock the lack of strength of their lineage? There are even more sinister ideas. That is to deliberately sow discord and separate the relationship between Xiaoxian and Wu Meng. In this way, even if Xiaoxian has an accident in the Qinglian Valley in the future, he will probably be isolated and helpless. A new student. In dangerous trials, it does not seem impossible to be seriously injured or even die. Bai Feng's intentions were clearly seen by everyone. No. Xiaoxian is a new student. If he is asked to conduct reconnaissance alone, isn't this asking him to die? Wang Tai refused directly. Bai Feng, aren't you afraid that Dean Wu Meng will know what happened today? For such threats. Bai Feng obviously didn't take it to heart. He lowered his voice and said gloomily, how dangerous is the Qinglian Valley? I don't need to say more, right? You guys, just come back alive first. Say it. Xiaoxian and others present suddenly turned dark. They could feel that Bai Feng had already said these words, and his purpose was very clear, and it was nothing more than specifically targeting Wu Meng's lineage. That's all. In that case, I will go alone. At this time, Xiaoxian stood up and said with a smile, there is no need for everyone to argue like this. Since this matter was arranged by senior brother Bai Feng, there is no need to refuse. What? This is absolutely not possible. You are the most promising new student in our lineage. If something happens to you, how will I explain to the master when I go back? Wang Tai stood up immediately, turned to Bai Feng and said, isn't it just reconnaissance from the front? I'll just go and let Xiaoxian follow the large army, how about it? Humph, of course. As long as he has this shameless face. As the leader of this trial in the Qinglian Valley, Bai Feng did not dare to really send Xiaoxian into the Jedi. But if Wang Tai took the initiative to speak, he wouldn't mind borrowing Po Xia's donkey. In the end, even if something really happened to Wang Tai, he was the one who took the initiative to go there, and Bai Feng could just find any reason to fool him. No. Wang Tai and Meng Xiaoli also looked a little helpless and could only persuade, but you will be safer if you stay in the big team. If your life is gone, no chance will be of any use. Care. Isn't this Xiao Xian? I didn't expect, he actually sneaked into Qinghua Academy. He was really lucky. Wei Qinglan, the commander of the Imperial Guard, saw Xiao Xian and couldn't help but sneer. Xiao Xian shook his head, looking at the situation now. Even if I stay in the big team, there won't be many good endings, right? Of course, this guy is the person your majesty has designated to target. If you can kill him, your majesty will give you a heavy reward. Follow him. After all, Qinghua College can be considered a force. At this moment, before entering the Qinglian Valley, there are already conflicts and a bit of drama. Elder Sidhu means that we should deal with him. This. Several people from surrounding forces saw it and commented one after another. How did you say this? Yes. It's kind of interesting. They actually let a freshman be a scout. I don't know if they are too confident or too arrogant. They could also hear that Sidhu Shenlong seemed to be really paying attention to this matter this time, so naturally they did not dare to say anything more. Several trial disciples from the Hunter Alliance nodded quickly. A trial disciple asked tentatively, does Elder Sidhu have a grudge against him? Obviously, he also acquiesced to Bai Feng's decision. Xiao Xian naturally knew that it was for his own good, but he still shook his head and said, don't worry, I know what you mean, but, I, Xiao Xian, am not a person without cards. Persuasion for both of them. At the same time, several people who knew Xiao Xian also frowned slightly when they saw this scene. Faced with such a situation, even Dean Kanglong frowned slightly, but then he didn't say a word. Commander Wei, are we going to target them? A disciple asked. In this regard, there are also a group of people from other forces paying attention to it. After Wei Qinglan finished speaking, he followed directly with his people. It's not your fault. Yes. Thank you, Senior Brother Wang. This time, I'll go. After saying that, he walked out directly. Sidhu Shenlong of the Hunter Alliance also saw Xiao Xian, also frowned slightly, and said to his trial disciples, you guys go in, if you can take care of Xiao Xian, you can pay more attention to him. Is there really internal strife in Qinghua Academy? After a few forces took the lead, many forces followed and entered the Qinglian Valley. The other side. Later, the trial disciples of the Hunter Alliance also hurriedly entered the scene. Walking towards Qinglian Valley. What's the point of having a grudge? This man is Elder Sidhu's benefactor. If we can help him, we will spare no effort, you know, said an old guard next to Sidhu Shenlong. Also, Elder Sidhu is now a member of the Hunter Alliance leader, please watch your words. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 698. But, Xiao Xian, do you really plan to go alone? Shall I go with you? Long Ruoxiu hurried to Xiao Xian's side and whispered, no matter how angry you are, in this Qinglian Valley, it's still too dangerous to be alone. No problem. It's not like you don't know that I have a trump card. Although he refused. But in his heart, Xiao Xian was still very moved. He could feel that Long Ruoxiu cared about him from the bottom of her heart, not just as a fellow disciple, but with some emotion. Boast. After Long Ruoxiu hesitated for a moment, he continued, I know you have some abilities that ordinary people can't see through, but sometimes, can you not take such desperate risks? It's really worrying. Hearing this, Xiao Xian also deliberately teased, hey, I didn't expect you to care about me so much. Thank you so much. At this time, Long Ruoxiu also realized that she had spilled the beans and quickly changed her words, who is worried about you? I am worried about our lineage. If we don't make big gains this time, I'm afraid it will be suppressed by other lines again. Rest assured. I have a hunch that maybe Qinglian Valley is an opportunity for our lineage to rise. Xiao Xian said with a smile. After saying this, the people next to him looked a little strange. I said in my heart, isn't this guy Xiao Xian a fool? Not to mention how many dangers there are in the Qinglian Valley, not even the disciples of Wang Ao and Bai Sheng dare to say that they will get any opportunities. The Wu Meng lineage was obviously the weakest lineage in Qinghua Academy during this trip to Qinglian Valley. Why are they so confident? Maybe he felt the strange looks from the people around him. Long Ruoxia couldn't help but roll her eyes at these people, and then continued to say to Xiaoxian, this trial in Qinglian Valley is quite dangerous. Don't be rash. If you encounter danger, come back directly. Don't show off. I'm not a child. You would never do something so stupid. Hearing Long Ruoxiu's endless instructions, Xiaoxian also smiled, you don't have to worry too much, maybe my reconnaissance this time will be a rare opportunity. It's not that simple. If all the opportunities in the world could be obtained so easily, wouldn't everyone in the world be geniuses? Long Ruoxiu said helplessly. She originally wanted to say something more, but the next second, her face still showed a bit of helplessness. She also knew that Bai Feng was an inner disciple of Qinghua Academy. There is no doubt that he is the backbone of this trial. There are some things that if Bai Feng has already decided, it is naturally difficult to change them, but what really makes Long Ruoxia confused is this. Why could Xiao Xian agree to Bai Feng so happily? We've known each other for such a long time. She also roughly understood that although Xiao Xian seemed reckless on weekdays, he was actually quite careful. There are some things he chooses to do. At least there is some certainty. Although now, Long Ruoxiu doesn't know where Xiao Xian's confidence lies, but she can also tell that maybe he has some trump cards or plans. For this, Long Ruoxiu, who has been with Xiao Xian for such a long time, naturally understands the reason behind this. All right. Since you are so confident, that's a good thing. Long Ruoxiu opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but closed her mouth the next second and said no more. Wang Tai and Meng Xiaoli also came over. Facing Xiao Xian, both of them looked ashamed, a little afraid to look into the latter's eyes. In this regard, Xiao Xian acted relatively calmly. In fact, for him, leaving the large army of Qinghua College and looking for opportunities on his own is not necessarily a bad thing. On the contrary, this may be a good thing. With the help of the spiritual eyes, he can find opportunities and the location of treasures faster and more directly. I won't bother you, Li Guangdao. After a while, Bai Feng waved his hand and directed the other disciples to slowly approach the Qinglian Valley. Under the gaze of everyone in Qinghua Academy. For a mere middle-level spiritual god realm to have such courage, I don't know whether he is too stupid or too arrogant. On the other hand, since Bai Feng was targeting him like this, it must have been Wang Ralong and Mu Xiaolong who were the instigators. Some of the disputes among the juniors are considered normal and there is no need to make a fuss. Is it possible that there is harmony in your Golden Sword sect? This kid, really left. Wang Ralong looked at Xiao Xian walking towards Qinglian Valley alone, and was a little surprised, isn't something really going to happen to him? Leaving the large army of Qinghua College is not necessarily a bad thing. On the contrary, it may be a good opportunity for him to get a chance. It's nothing to worry about. If you have anything to do, come and tell me later. With the help of time and system. From this perspective, Li Guangdao's expression also changed slightly, and he snorted coldly, I'm too lazy to take care of your Qinghua Academy's affairs. This kind of thing. Kang Long turned around slightly and looked at Li Guangdao, isn't it? But who says it isn't? Seeing that Xiao Xian attracted so many people's attention, Kang Long also frowned slightly, everyone, why does a disciple of the spiritual god realm attract so much attention from you? Is it possible that, you still have something to say? Although this is an internal matter of Qinghua College, Dean Kanglong is really well-mannered. I didn't expect that at this critical moment, there would be internal strife, which made other people laugh. Li Guangdao looked at Xiao Xian, who walked into the Qinglian Valley alone, and reluctantly kept saying, being slapped so abruptly by Kanglong. After all, arranging people from the same lineage to conduct reconnaissance before the trial is considered a normal decision. However, Old Man Shilong, Li Guangdao, and others saw it, and they couldn't help but glance at Kanglong with strange eyes. This scene is neither big nor small. Maybe they have also completed some shady cooperation in some aspects. Bai Feng was confident. What's more, the other disciples from Wu Meng's lineage voluntarily gave up and let Xiao Xian go alone. Old Man Shilong touched his beard and said, having the courage to walk into the Qinglian Valley alone shows that he is still very confident, but I see that he is only an intermediate-level spiritual god realm. Isn't he going to die? Even if something happens, it's his own choice. This is Xiao Xian's biggest trump card. Leng Aolan stared at Xiao Xian with his eyes, thoughtfully. But the thing happened in front of them, and they still paid more or less attention to it. Even if he doesn't get the chance, he won't be in any danger. Xiao Xian slowly walked into the Qinglian Valley. Yes. This ostracized disciple seems to be very confident. But you are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 699. Don't dare. Everyone in the Mingzhou territory knows that Dean Kanglong is powerful. Even if we have the courage, we don't dare to point fingers at the disciples of Qinghua Academy. Li Guangdao sneered. It's obviously just a deliberate irony. However, Dean Kanglong still had a calm look on his face, as if he didn't take this matter to heart at all. This point made the disciples of Wu Meng's lineage more or less dissatisfied. Especially Long Ruoxiu, who has a good relationship with Xiao Xian. She knew that Kanglong clearly heard what Bai Feng said just now, but had no intention of blocking it at all. It was obvious that he was deliberately favoring Bai Feng. This really made her uncomfortable. Senior brother, this Bai Feng is so shameless, and Dean Kanglong doesn't even care about it. Isn't it a bit too much? Long Ruoxiu couldn't help but say. Nothing is too much or too much. In Qinghua Academy, strength comes first. With strength, whatever you do is right. Wang Tai shook his head. This will never go out of style. Speaking of which, Long Ruoxiu and Meng Xiaoli said no more. The two of them also understood that although Wang Tai's words didn't sound nice, they were indisputable facts. No matter what sect, the sect masters and elders will favor more powerful disciples. Bai Feng and Xiao Xian, one is a promising inner disciple, and the other is a budding freshman number one. From a certain perspective, perhaps they are all extremely talented people. But it is undeniable. Among the 8 disciples of Qinghua Academy, only the 8 inner disciples are the ones most likely to become masters of the Blue God realm. Others may be short-lived. Over the years, there have been many so-called first-time freshmen, but most of them have faded into obscurity as time goes by. Therefore, Xiao Xian's status naturally cannot be compared with Bai Feng. Stop talking about this. When we get in, I'll find an opportunity to talk to Bai Feng. At worst, we won't have the resources of our lineage, and we have to let junior brother Xiao Xian come back safely. Wang Tai gritted his teeth and said, after everyone enters the Qinglian Valley, you may have to resort to harsh methods. It doesn't matter. Meng Xiaoli shook her head first. It doesn't matter. As long as junior brother Xiao Xian can come back safely, it's worth it. But, didn't those 2 senior brothers and sisters waste the trial opportunity? Long Ruoxiu was stunned. Originally, her trial opportunity was in vain, but she didn't care much about it. Instead, she felt sorry for Wang Tai and Meng Xiaoli. It doesn't matter. Cultivation can't be achieved by relying on one or two chances. Wang Tai smiled and said warmly, "Senior sister Meng and I have also participated in many trials of opportunity, but we have never been able to reach the threshold of the Blue God realm. This may be the case in this life." "Huh, whoever is like you, I still have hope." "Okay," Meng Xiaoli said unconvinced. Ha ha ha. Wang Tai, who had a simple and honest character, smiled and did not argue with Meng Xiaoli. "Then thank you two senior brothers and sisters." Long Ruoxiu was moved from the bottom of her heart. "Brothers from the same sect, please don't be so polite." Meng Xiaoli shook her head, her eyes twinkling. "That kid Xiao Xian really has some talent. If he can really lead our Wu Meng lineage." "Bei Feng. What do you want?" Just when Wang Tai and Meng Xiaoli were worried about Xiao Xian, Bai Feng walked over and said with a smile, "Junior sister Xiaoli, we have known each other for so many years, and I have never seen you worry so much about someone. Why are you so worried about little Xiao Xian today? Could it be? Take action against your own people. As an inner disciple, you actually attack ordinary old students." Bai Feng was rejected in person, and he couldn't help but lower his voice and said, "As long as you promise me, I guarantee that your Wu Meng lineage will get certain resources." He is also the leader of this Qinghua College Qinglian Valley trial. Only then did the silver-white Dao power completely dissipate. Watching Bai Feng leave, Wang Taike coughed violently and said with an ugly face, "This guy's practice with the silver moon sword is getting better and better. It seems, ahem, he has reached the level of Xiao Cheng, ahem, cough. How shameless." Wang Tai's expression turned ugly. "Is it possible that you think that all of us in Wu Meng's lineage are spineless people?" The iron gray power seemed to be melted, slowly fading away. "Wang Tai, what qualifications do you have to speak?" Bai Feng glanced at Wang Tai. "You have practiced for so many years and have not even touched the threshold of the Blue God realm. How do you still have the qualifications to speak? Xiaoli, you should know that I have always been sincere to you. There are many women who pursue me in Qinghua College, but I..." Regarding such a change, Meng Xiaoli's expression next to her also changed in an instant, and she quickly used a green power to stop Bai Feng, so that Wang Tai was not injured. "Could it be that, junior sister Meng, you have fallen in love with the Xiao Xian?" Bai Feng's eyes showed a bit of jealousy. Although he was an inner disciple, he had always been ranked last, but he was very interested in Meng Xiaoli, who had mediocre talent. Long Ruoxiu hurriedly scolded, "Senior brother Bai Feng." After Bai Feng finished speaking, he turned around and left. "The trial in the Qinglian Valley hasn't even started yet, and you're taking action against one of your own. Isn't it a bit too much? After all these years, your iron rock skill is still so weak." The originally solid iron rock giant took a few steps back. Meng Xiaoli gritted her teeth. If the dean finds out, he will also be punished. Bai Feng was originally rejected by Meng Xiaoli, and he was suffocating in his heart. At this time, with a tap of his finger, a silver-white Tao power suddenly appeared, instantly destroying Wang Tai's iron rock kung fu. This reputation is a bit too unpleasant, so at this moment, Rao Shi Bai Feng's face is a bit ugly. As an inner disciple, Bai Feng, although our Wu Meng lineage is weak, we will not trade our disciples for resources. Do you dare to fight with me?" Wang Tai gritted his teeth, and an iron-colored Dao power flowed through his body. "Certain resources. He. Finally, my hands relaxed." "What?" Meng Xiaoli's face turned pale. "You will know soon that in Qinglian Valley, without my protection, none of you will end well. Are you going a little too far? Who I fall in love with seems to have nothing to do with you, right?" Meng Xiaoli asked dissatisfied. Snort. Suddenly attacked. Despite this, Wang Tai's face turned pale, and blood surged in his chest. It was obvious that he was seriously injured. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 700. Forget it. This guy is an inner disciple and has always been favored by Dean Kanglong. For some things, even if they did something wrong, Dean Kanglong will not pursue them too much. Wang Tai shook his head. Our lineage is already weak, so it's better to do less than to do more. Hear these words. A trace of displeasure flashed across Long Ruoxiu's face. But at the same time, a figure suddenly came to mind. She also knew that what Wang Tai said was not intentional to deceive her, but what really happened. Judging from the current situation, it seems, Wu Meng's lineage can only rely on Xiao Xian to create miracles again? But, can miracles really be so easy to create? For a moment, Long Ruoxiu couldn't help but miss Xiao Xian, and then her face couldn't help but become a little more curious. What's the situation? What's on your mind? At this time, I saw Long Ruoxiu looking thoughtful. Meng Xiaoli on the side was a little confused. Looking at you, you are smiling and worried at the same time. Are you worried about this trip to Qinglian Valley? Yes. Now it's the Xianming Dragon again, and it's from Qinghua Academy. It feels like the Qinglian Valley is very dangerous this time. Long Ruoxiu also expressed her inner worries. These things may not sound relevant, but deep down, I feel a little uneasy. Worry about Long Ruoxiu? Wang Tai and Meng Xiaoli also looked at each other and nodded slightly. Both of them are old students. This is not the first time they have entered the Qinglian Valley, and they can also slightly feel the difference in the Qinglian Valley this time. However, even they couldn't feel what was different about this trip to Qinglian Valley. How do I say this? Could it be that you feel something? Seeing that Long Ruoxiu still looked worried, Wang Tai also became interested. Speaking of which, although you and Xiao Xian are both freshmen, you have good knowledge and talents. Did you see something this time? Senior brother Wang is too modest. After all, I am a new student, so at most I just feel strange. But Xiao Xian seems to have felt something. Long Ruoxiu shook her head and explained, otherwise, he would not have chosen to go to investigate so firmly. I suspect that he even went to investigate on purpose. Having said that, Wang Tai and Meng Xiaoli both looked shocked. Actively conducting reconnaissance in Qinglian Valley is no joke. Not to mention, a place like Qinglian Valley is full of dangers, so even people of Baifeng's level must be cautious. Where did he, Xiao Xian, get such courage? How dare you go on a reconnaissance trip alone? Qinglian Valley. After Xiao Xian entered Qinglian Valley alone, realizing that no one was following him, he also opened his spiritual eyes. From this look, he was really rewarded. Outside on weekdays, opening or not opening his spiritual eyes has almost no effect. There was no spiritual treasure for him to search for, but in Qinglian Valley, he discovered that this place was really a treasure. Basically, you can get spiritual treasures or spiritual grasses after just 2 steps. However, it is not surprising that wherever there is a spiritual treasure, there will also be a hint of danger. Herbs from the 3 realms. It can greatly restore the blood and energy during battle. A green herb appeared not far from him. But Xiao Xian understood that such medicinal herbs might be dangerous if they appeared for no reason. Turn around. Sure enough, I saw a cold and stern gaze behind the big tree in the distance. 3rd grade ghost leopard. Xiao Xian concentrated and held his breath, unsheathing the serious sword in his hand, staring closely at this ferocious ghost leopard. Laugh. Ghost leopard also seemed to feel Xiao Xian's gaze. Simply don't hide it anymore. He slowly walked out from behind the big tree, covered in darkness, with a body like a tiger, but with a long tail like a python. Xiao Xian, who has rich fighting experience, is naturally not afraid of this ghost leopard. He still looks at the beast indifferently, with a bit of provocation in his eyes. This also made him break into a cold sweat. What a powerful force! Only then did he escape in a thrilling way. He did not dare to neglect, and quickly retracted his attack. The yin-yang stealth technique was also activated, and he narrowly avoided the attack. This unpredictable speed. Interesting. The strength of third-grade monsters is equivalent to that of cultivators in the high-level spiritual realm, and this is still in the outside world. Chunyang Wuji Kendo was instantly displayed. If you miss a blow, you can still calmly look for the next opportunity to attack. With this kind of mentality, it's no wonder that you can protect these herbs from the three realms. Huh. The next second, what shocked Xiao Xian was that the ghost leopard that was just under the big tree disappeared directly from the place. Ghost leopard also seemed to sense Xiao Xian's intention. The third-grade monster here. Xiao Xian couldn't help but praise. Gee. The next second, its figure flashed again and rushed directly towards Xiao Xian's body. Its sharp claws were like two sharp daggers, digging towards Xiao Xian's lower abdomen. Most of them are stronger than the outside world. What Xiao Xian can feel is. I didn't expect that it turned out to be a third-grade monster. Since you are here, then use your blood to be my first sacrifice when I enter the Qinglian Valley. He actually wanted to disembowel Xiao Xian directly. After saying that, Xiao Xian flashed and went straight to the ghost leopard with the serious sword. There are also fierce attacks. Even if a real master of the spiritual realm is standing here, he will still have to deal with them seriously. In a place like Qinglian Valley where Tao power is so strong, everything inside is much stronger than the outside world. The sharp leopard tail swept across, like a machete, and struck directly at his neck. The sharp tail was waving, cutting off layers of turf. But now it was facing Xiao Xian, and its little thoughts were clearly seen. After fighting for such a long time, he could also feel that with the attack of the ghost leopard just now, he was definitely at the peak of the spiritual god realm. Hiss. The serious sword was as fast as lightning, and it went straight to chop off the ghost leopard's head. Xiao Xian couldn't help but gasped. This move. Fortunately, Xiao Xian's body skills are powerful. Seeing Xiao Xian dodge, Ghost Leopard seemed a little surprised, but in the next second, he regained his composure and stared at the former with his two eyes. Then a ghost appeared behind him. However, if the Ghost Leopard faces other practitioners, it may still take advantage.